What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in today's video I wanted to share with you one of the latest additions to my Beast Wars Transformers collection, and that is a customized Ravage. Now, this Ravage that you see here in front of you is not something that is produced that you can buy. It was actually custom made using the torso of a Transmetal Cheetor. So I have my Transmetal Cheetor here in the back. We'll talk here in a minute about exactly what they did to it to make this. But I've always wanted a show-accurate looking Ravage from the actual show to add to my collection. Now, if you collect Beast Wars figures or you are a fan of the show and bought a lot of the toys, you will probably know that they didn't actually produce a, show-accurate version of Ravage, which was very disappointing. I mean, I know he didn't play a large part in the actual show itself, but with all the Beast Wars and stuff that they made that didn't even have anything to do with the show, you figured the characters that actually got an appearance in the show, whether it be very small or very large, would have at very least got their own toy. But Ravage was one of those that never did. Now, technically speaking, they did produce a few Ravage toys. Some of them weren't called Ravage. One of them was pretty much a copy of Tigatron. I believe his name was Shadow Panther. I'll throw up some pictures right here so you can see what I'm talking about. But it looks nothing like the Ravage from the actual TV show. So I never really got around to picking one of those up for my collection. Another option that you had was the Tripredacus Agent, which was basically a Ravage version of Transmetal 2 Cheetor. And then there is the Japanese version of actual Ravage. Now, it's a very expensive toy. I don't think it was ever released in America. But my issue with that particular toy is out of the three, it is the most show-accurate looking one. But even that particular figure isn't 100%. The head, the chest, a lot of things about that figure just don't look exactly like the Ravage from the actual show. So I never got around to picking one of those up, mainly because of the price point. I mean, a used one's going to cost you anywhere from $100 to $200 plus. One in the box is going to cost you upwards of $300, and I've seen ones that are sealed, never open, listed for anywhere from $400 to $600. So I wasn't going to pick something up if it didn't even really fit what I was looking for, especially at that price point. But as soon as I saw this, I actually picked this up on eBay. I got it for $35. So somebody actually used a 3D printer and made a custom Ravage head. They made custom arms and guns, and they even made this awesome jointed tail that actually moves around. I mean, it looks awesome. This is one of the most show accurate pieces I've ever seen created for the Beast Wars, at least a custom one. So I had to pick this up. I mean, the head is probably the best looking Ravage head I've seen on a toy. Now, it's not 100% perfect, but out of all of the toy options there are for Ravage, this is hands down, in my opinion, one of the most show accurate looking. It's not 100% if you want to get real picky, but it looks the best out of anything I've ever seen. They got the coloring pretty much spot on with all of the colors. Everything that's, should be silver is. The only thing that they didn't actually color in, they just printed off with a 3D printer, was the guns. The guns look good. They're not 100% show accurate, so I can take care of that myself. But basically what they did to create this figure was they took a Transmetal Cheetor. Obviously the tail isn't being used. They used a custom tail. The piece that has the two front legs of Cheetor in his cheetah form and the back plate that rotates up and down when you transform him was removed. Now you can see right here where the holes were, where that piece should set right here on the back that rotates up and down. So they removed that. Obviously, they removed Cheetor's head to put the custom head on there, and they have the custom tail. So the back plate I was talking about that has his little jets that come out and that is connected to his legs, this piece right here that rotates up and down. They simply removed that. They took the cheetah head pieces that make the back of his arms. They popped those off, put custom arms on there, custom head, custom tail, and custom painted it. And that's how we ended up with this custom Ravage right here. I can't say enough good things about this. They did such an outstanding job. I was very excited to get my hands on this because I've always wanted a show accurate looking Ravage to add to my collection. Now, to be completely fair, a lot of the original toys that they released, some of them really didn't look 100% show accurate, although they're close enough. With, you know, Ravage back here, I mean, this looks better than some of the released toys that they made. And it always really kind of made me wonder why Ravage never got an actual good American release, you know, that looked like his actual show counterpart. The pictures that I'm going to show up and that I've been kind of flipping through here, I think the only thing that I really want to try to do with this one to take it a step further is I am going to actually try to customize the coloring of the guns a little bit better, and I want to try to get that red Predacon emblem on his arm somehow. I might try to make a sticker, but yeah, we'll see about that one. I'm not sure, but they did an outstanding job on this. I just had to share it with you guys. The paint, the head, it just looks very, very close to an amazing show accurate Ravage, and it's going to look great in my collection. All right, everybody, real quick before we go, I actually just got done making some modifications to Ravage here. Basically what I did was I made some simple modifications using a silver metallic Sharpie and my black Sharpie. I even used a tiny bit of red for what I'll show you in just a second, but mainly with the silver, I actually went in and colored in his knees to match the actual metallic silver with his leg, because they were black and they're actually silver in the show. So I went ahead and colored all the way down and colored his joints. I squared out the belt buckle emblem here a little bit to make it more of like a more of a rectangle, and then I took a little bit of red and colored in the little ball orb thing there in the middle of the buckle itself. I then took my silver Sharpie and we colored in half of both of the weapons to be a metallic silver. I might need to go back just a little bit further with that. I'll have to double check, but they do look a lot better. I V'd out the emblem on his chest a little bit better with both the silver and the black Sharpie to make it look a little bit more like a V. I'll show you here, I put a very small Predacon emblem on his left arm here. Now, technically, it should be a little bit bigger, but it was hard to actually put on with the Sharpie because of the gap that's right here above it. Technically, it should have been higher up and a little bit bigger, but I just pinned in a real quick little, to the best of my abilities, a little Predacon emblem there underneath that joint right there of his arm, just below the shoulder. I filled in a lot of the joints with silver metallic marker. There was a lot of yellow showing through from the old color, so I went ahead and filled those in. But other than that, I even filled in a couple of the corresponding holes here that were supposed to be black, so we went ahead and filled those in. And yeah, I think Ravage here looks very good. He cleaned up very nice, and we were able to fill in and fix a little bit more of the actual coloring of Ravage. I'll go ahead and turn this on so we can get a little 360 going on of him, but all in all, I think this is, I mean, it's just an amazing creation that somebody made. I couldn't be more happy with it, and I am absolutely thrilled to add it to my Beast Wars collection. And we are going to go ahead and wrap that up there. So those were the quick modifications I made. A lot more happy with it now that it's even more color accurate And I'm going to go ahead and officially sign off. And until next time, everybody, I will see you next video.